Before the great empire of Mali, before kings wore crowns of gold and commanded vast armies, there was a quieter, more profound story unfolding across the West African savannas. It's the story of the Mandinka peoples, a story of survival, unity, and the birth of nations from scattered clans. Between 800 and 1200 AD, something fundamental was changing. This wasn't about grand conquests just yet, but about the slow, determined emergence of a people finding their strength in togetherness. Imagine the landscape, vast, sun-drenched savannas stretching to the horizon, dotted with acacia trees and crisscrossed by life-giving rivers like the Niger. Here's small, independent family groups. The ancestors of the Mandinka lived their lives. They were farmers, hunters, and traders, their existence deeply intertwined with the rhythms of the land. But this land could be as harsh as it was generous. Droughts could parch the earth, and conflicts over scarce resources could tear communities apart. In this world of uncertainty, isolation was a profound danger. A single family, a small clan, was vulnerable. This vulnerability became the driving force for change. The Mandinka, also known as the Malink, began a gradual process of expansion and consolidation. They started spreading out from their traditional heartland, a region sometimes referred to as Mandun. As these groups moved, they encountered others, and a choice had to be made: conflict or cooperation. Increasingly, they chose cooperation. Small family units started binding together to form larger clans, and these clans, in turn, began to unite under the leadership of local chiefs. These early chiefs weren't emperors ruling from golden thrones. They were often the most respected elders, the wisest negotiators, or the most skilled hunters. Their authority came from the trust of their people. They were the ones who could settle disputes between families, organize communal hunts, or decide when and where to plant crops. Under their guidance, these scattered groups developed the first fragile systems of governance. Think of it like a series of concentric circles: the family at the center, then the clan, and then a collection of clans united under a paramount chief. This process wasn't always peaceful or easy. It was born from necessity, from the shared fear of starvation during a drought or the terror of a raid from a rival group. Uniting meant sharing resources which could be scarce. It meant trusting people who were once strangers. It meant giving up a small piece of independence for a greater sense of security. Imagine the tense negotiations around a campfire. Chiefs from different clans debating late into the night, their faces illuminated by the flickering flames. The future of their people rested on the words they chose, on the pacts they forged. Each agreement was a hard-won victory against chaos, a fragile vine of unity woven in a world of division. As these small states, or kafas, began to form, they became more complex. They developed social structures with specialized roles for different members of the community. There were the farmers who tilled the soil, the blacksmiths who forged tools and weapons, the weavers who created textiles, and the griots, the oral historians, who preserved the memory and traditions of their people. The griots were especially vital. They were the living libraries, the keepers of genealogies, stories, and laws. Through their songs and tales, they reinforced the bonds of kinship and reminded everyone of their shared history and common purpose. This period, from roughly 800 to 1200 AD, laid the essential groundwork for what was to come. It was an era of state-building from the ground up. The Mandinka were learning how to govern themselves on a larger scale. They were creating political and social institutions that could manage populations larger than a single village. They established trade networks that connected them to other peoples across West Africa, exchanging salt from the north for gold and kola nuts from the south. This economic activity not only brought wealth, but also ideas, further enriching their culture and strengthening their connections. By the year 1200, the political landscape of West Africa had been transformed. Where there had once been countless, small, independent groups, there now stood a network of powerful Mandinka kafus. These states were strong, organized, and resilient. They were a testament to the 4 centuries of slow, patient work of building community and forging unity. This era of emergence peaked, creating a powerful foundation of shared culture, language, and political tradition. But this consolidation also set the stage for a new kind of conflict. As these chiefdoms grew more powerful, they began to compete with one another for land, trade routes, and influence. The very unity that had made them strong now created new rivalries. The stage was being set for a leader who could unite not just the clans, but the states themselves. The Mandinka world was primed for an empire. The groundwork had been laid, the people were connected, and the systems were in place. All that was needed was a catalyst, a figure of immense strength and vision, who could harness this collective power and forge an empire that would echo through history. This is the untold story behind the rise of Mali. It's the story of the Mandinka emergence, a 400-year journey from scattered families to a people on the verge of empire. It's a powerful reminder that the greatest empires are not built overnight. They rise from the deep, strong foundations of community, culture, and the timeless human desire for unity in the face of hardship. This era of chiefs and clans was the true heart of the Mandinka achievement, the quiet but powerful prologue to the epic of Sundiata Keita and the glorious empire of Mali. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this journey into the history of the Mandinka people fascinating, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that shaped our world.